Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back for another week of yoga videos. I hope you're getting a little something out of this. I know it's preferable to do this in person, and I miss seeing all of your beautiful smiling faces. So today we're going to do a few challenging poses, some poses that I haven't done in a while. And so I know that I will be reminding myself to do the best I can and appreciate what my body is able to do today. So I hope that you're all able to do the same and we give it our best shot and we do not get attached to the final result and how the pose should look. We want to make sure it feels okay in our body. So we're going to start out in a tabletop. And we're going to do a little something different today. Instead of doing a cat-cow, we're going to do what's called threading the needle. So I'm going to talk you through it. To start, I'm going to shift the weight into my left hand. And my right arm is going to reach up to the sky, and I'm going to turn my torso so I can see those fingertips. And then I'm going to turn to the other side. I'm going to bring my right arm underneath my body. And as I do so, I'm going to lower my right shoulder down to the mat. So here comes my dog. My right arm is all the way out. I can bring my left hand to just in front of my face, or it can go up over my head, whatever feels right. But right shoulder is resting down on the floor. Hips are up to the sky. Side of your head resting on the floor. And then bring your left hand back up to your tabletop, and then we'll do it again on the other side. So we're going to lift left arm up to the sky, turning torso to look up at those fingers. Turning to the other side, bringing left arm underneath your body. Arm goes straight out, lower left shoulder to the mat, hips up. I'm going to take my right arm up overhead, but you can keep your elbow bent, your right hand in front of your face, whatever works. And I'm going to move my right hand back. I'm going to come back into the tabletop. Now move your knees back just a little bit. Make sure your fingers are spread wide like starfish, gripping the mat with your tiger paw. Tuck your toes. Inhale up and back, downward facing dog. Now you're going to walk your feet up to your hands, bending your knees if you need to in order to keep your fingertips on the mat. Bring your hands to your hips, elbow tips pointing up, shoulder blades hugging together on your back. Lift your ears. Push into your feet, inhale, rise all the way up. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. But you're going to keep your hands on your hips. We're going to go into Uttanasana, or a forward fold. We're going to add a little shoulder work into it. So keeping your mountain pose standing nice and tall, straight and strong. You're going to hinge at your hips, fold all the way forward. Keeping your hands on your hips. Bend your knees if you need to, but just a little bit. And now you're going to clasp your hands. So make snowball hands on your back. Keeping your elbows bent just a little bit, which allows you to squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Keeping those elbows bent, bring your snowball hands away from your body slowly, as far as you can comfortably go. Keeping those elbows bent. Bring your hands back to your hips. Push into your feet. Elbow tips point up towards the sky. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart for Anjali Mudra. Now we're going to come back to a mountain pose. I'm going to go back to working from the side. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down to the mat. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, I'm going to lean forward. hands down and lower to a plank. Let's lower down to forearms and do a forearm plank here. So hips can't be too low, can't be too high. Strong arms, strong legs, and then lower all the way down. Now stack one hand on top of the other. Lower your forehead down onto your hands. Take a little rest. And now bring your hands on either side of your chest. Tuck your toes and maybe walk your toes towards your body. Push yourself up and back to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up to the sky. Bring your right foot forward in between your hands. Turn your left foot to the side. And now lift up a little bit. Bring your right elbow to your right knee for side angle. And left arm reaches out in front of you. Tuck your shoulder back into the socket. And then remember our karate chopping the air. So gently karate chopping the air with left arm. Reaches up over left ear. Go deeper into that right knee. A nice long stretch in this left side body. And hands on either side of your right foot. Step back to a downward dog. We'll do the other side. Left leg reaches up. Left foot between hands. And we're going to lift up, bringing left elbow to left knee. I'm going to turn my right foot so that it's parallel to the short edge of my mat. And I'm going to bring my, actually not all the way up, I'm going to reach towards that side wall. I'm going to draw my shoulder back. I'm going to karate chop the air, bringing my right arm up over right ear, going deeper into my left knee. Keeping my back leg nice and straight and strong. I'm going to lower hands on either side of my left foot. I'm going to step back to a downward dog. I'm going to lower my knees. Knees are going to go wide. Big toes are going to touch. I'm going to sit back on my heels. Lower my forehead for a child's pose. Take a few breaths here in child's pose. I'm going to sit up so you can hear me. And come back to a tabletop. Move your knees back. Make sure fingers are spread wide like starfish. Tuck toes, up and back, downward facing dog. Now you're going to lift your left foot up. And bring your left foot forward in between your hands. Lower your right knee. Bring your hands on either, bring both hands so that they're inside of your right foot. And then you're going to lift your left arm, you're going to bend your right knee, and you're going to reach back, and you're going to hold that foot. This might hurt a little bit. It's hurting me a little bit, so I'm going to be careful. You're going to draw your right foot towards your right hip, opening your torso. Opening your heart. Maybe you even add a back bend. You see how it feels. Let that go. And back to downward dog. Now you're going to lift the right leg up to the sky. Bring right foot forward in between the hands. Lower left knee. Left hand down to the mat. Left knee is bent. Right arm reaches back for right foot. I'm going to open my chest, look up to the sky, draw my heel towards my hip, Squeeze my shoulder blades together on my back. Gently let that go. Come back to a tabletop, knees go wide, big toes touch. Sit back down on your heels, lower forehead to the mat. For child's pose, take a few breaths here in child's pose. And now lower all the way onto your belly. Come up to Sphinx pose on your forearms. Palms are out in front of you. Lift your chest up. Bend your right knee. Reach back with right arm. Grab the inside of your right foot. Now do the opposite side, bending left knee, holding onto the inside of your left foot. And then you're gonna push your feet into your hands while lifting your torso and your thighs up off the mat, keeping your knees somewhat close together rather than wide. You wanna bring them, they don't need to touch, but maybe have them a few inches apart. And then see how much of your body you can lift up off the mat for bow pose. Lower back down, hands on your mat. Rest one cheek on top of your hands. Come back to Sphinx pose, and we're gonna do the same thing again. So let's start with left leg bending, reaching back with left arm. And right leg bending, reaching back with right arm. Kick your feet into your hands. Lift your torso up off the mat, keeping your knees somewhat close together. And lower down. Stack one hand over the other. Rest the other cheek on those hands. Take a few breaths here. And now bring your hands on either side of your chest, tuck your toes, walk your toes up towards your body, hug your elbows in towards your body, push up and back, downward facing dog. And I'm gonna sit back down. So stay in your downward dog. We are gonna move into Vashisthasana, which is side plank. So that is a tricky pose. It can be challenging, and we're gonna do the very best we're able to, and we're gonna feel good about that. I'll show you a modification you can try if you'd like. So, all right, everybody is in a downward facing dog. Strong arms, strong legs, fingers are spread wide like starfish. And actually bring your feet close together so that the insides of your feet are touching. Lift up onto the balls of your feet. And then you're gonna roll to the outside edge of your left foot. You're gonna stack, maybe you wanna move that left hand out farther. Stack your right foot on top of your left, right arm reaches up. If you would like, you can bring that top foot down in front of you. Use it as a kickstand. You wanna lift your hips up, however you're doing this. Hips up. And lower hands, back to downward facing dog. We'll do the other side. So lift up onto the balls of your feet. Inside edges of your feet are touching. You're gonna roll to the outside of your right foot. Left foot rests on right foot. Left arm reaches up. Strong arms, strong legs. Lift your hips up. And lower hand. Back to downward dog. Lower knees. Bring knees wide, big toes touching. Sit back down on your heels, lower forehead. Child's pose. Take a few breaths in child's pose. And we will get ready for our peak pose today, which is Wild Thing. Some of you may remember us doing that. Some of you may not. All right, come back up to your tabletop. Fingers are spread wide, gripping the mat with your tiger paw, your fingertips and your knuckles. Move your knees back, tuck your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. I'm going to move my right hand just a little bit forward of my left, making sure I'm still gripping with my tiger paw. I'm going to move to the outside edge of my right foot. And instead of resting my left foot, I'm going to bring my left foot behind my body. Then I'm going to lift my hips up even higher. I'm going to reach my left arm up overhead for that wall behind me. I can even turn my torso up to the sky if that feels okay. Stretching that top arm up overhead, lifting my hips. And then I'm going to lower that left hand, come back to a downward dog. I'm going to lower my knees. I'm going to find a quick child's pose. Maybe you bring your arms alongside your body. That's sometimes a nice child's pose. And now we're going to come back up to a tabletop, and we're going to do the other side. So find your tiger paw, fingers spread wide, gripping the mat, toes tucked, lift up and back, downward facing dog. I'm going to move my left hand a little bit forward of my right. I'm going to come to the outside edge of my left foot. I'm going to bring my right foot behind my body. Right knee is bent. My right arm is going to reach back towards that wall behind me. I'm going to push into my left arm. I'm going to lift my hips. Maybe I turn my torso, and I don't have quite enough room to stretch here. I'm going to lift my hips, lift my torso, maybe drop my head back. And when I've had enough, I'm going to come back to a downward dog and lower knees. Come to a seated position. Let's find a butterfly. So bring the soles of your feet together, either closer to your body or farther away, depending on what kind of stretch you're feeling right now. You can flap your wings if you'd like. You may keep them still if you'd like. Bring your fingertips out in front of you and maybe walk them forward just a little bit, getting a nice stretch in your inner thighs. Come back up. We're going to do Navasana, or boat pose. I know a lot of you really love boat pose. We need to remember to engage our core muscles or our abdominal muscles. That's what we use a lot in Navasana. We're also going to move from Navasana into raft, and from raft to Shavasana. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to hold on to the backs of my thighs and lift my feet. I'm going to flex my feet, and I'm going to reach out towards my toes. I'm going to keep my knees bent because that's how I'm able to maintain my nice straight back. Some of you I know are able to keep your legs straight and maintain the shape of your back. I'm not one of those, so I'm going to keep my knees bent. You do what's right in your body, keeping shoulders back. And now engage your abdominal muscles because we're going to lower slowly down. I know I can't see you, but I don't want any flopping. So you're going to slowly engage those muscles, straighten your legs, slowly lower, lower, lower. And maybe stay here for a second and then go back to lowering, lowering, lowering. And find your Shavasana. So legs are long, arms are long by your sides, palms are facing up. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. If you feel any pain in your lower back, maybe try squeezing your shoulder blades together on your back. Sometimes that helps. Close your eyes. Sit up. But you are all going to stay in Shavasana. And you're going to imagine that your muscles and your bones are getting heavy. You're grounding, making contact with the earth, weighting down. Maybe try a loving kindness meditation while you're here. And the way we do loving kindness, or sometimes we call that metta meditation, we send out wishes. We start with ourselves. And it can be whatever you want. I change it up sometimes, but what I like to do is, may I be happy. May I be safe. May I be free from suffering. And then I'll say that a few times in my head. I don't say it out loud. I'll say it in my head. And then when I'm ready, I expand that out to those people in my life that I care about, that I love, my family, my friends, and I send those hopes and wishes out to them. May they be happy. May they be safe. May they be free from suffering. May they be happy. May they be safe. May they be free from suffering. And then start expanding out. We keep going out farther and farther. We think about those people in our communities. Maybe we know them, maybe we don't. Maybe it's our mailman we see every day. Maybe it's the grocery store workers that are still out there stocking the shelves so we have food to eat. Maybe it's your teachers. Start wishing those things on your communities. May they be happy. May they be safe. May they be free from suffering. And we want to imagine growing and expanding out the group to whom we're sending out these wishes. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We go to our community, then outside our community, then our state, and we just keep going. And one of the more important things about a metta meditation or a loving kindness meditation is to remember, and this is the most important and also the most challenging, and we need to remember those people that maybe we have a hard time getting along with them. Maybe they've hurt our feelings. Maybe they've said something or done something that upset us. But we still need to extend that loving kindness out to them too. So I want you to picture in your mind's eye somebody that's maybe hurt your feelings or upset you. And send those wishes out to them. May you be happy. May you be kind. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering, but also kind. And you can keep going as far out as you want on this, but we're going to come back into the room slowly and carefully and gently by bringing some movement into our bodies by wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, slowly bringing movement back. We're going to draw one knee in towards our chest and the other, and then wrap your arms around your knees. Give yourself a big hug. Bring your right arm up overhead, rested on the floor behind you, and roll over to your right side using that right arm as a pillow. And use your left hand pushing into the floor, lifting yourself back up to a seated position. And then we will all close out together. So once everybody is sitting down, ready to go, we'll inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Bring your hands to your forehead to remember kind thoughts. Hands to your mouth to remember kind words. Hands to your heart to remember kind actions. And I bow forward. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I will be doing some more videos, so I will see you soon.